Now, Radio Wammo Breakfast.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy to have a great asset like this beautiful park, and to make it yet another apartment in Auckland. It's
Another
just crazy.
square building.
No, that's outrageous. It's so good here. Oh, that's horrible. They can't do that.
No.
That
Why?
would be an utter shame.
Why?
Well, it's only just got here, so we're ashamed to turn it around when it's only just happened.
This is so brilliant. Why are they doing that?
Leave it the way it is.
Now, they're not talking about Papamoa Beach. They were talking about the Auckland waterfront, believe it or not. Yes, particularly the Wynyard Quarter, where they've created a public space for Kiwis and Aucklanders to go down and enjoy the waterfront. Finally, just like Wellingtonians have been able to do for a long, long time. But as part of the Auckland plan, the future of that area is now under review, I suppose you could say, and there could be other ways of perhaps using it. Alex Swney from Heart of the City is in to discuss some of this.
Hey,
and you were actually out there taking that video, weren't you?
Yeah.
Asking people what they thought about the fact that playground, that award-winning playground, could be replaced by some 4-storey buildings?
Yeah, that's... Look, the thing is, there's this... We've got 7 cities that have been amalgamated, and so we need one... Used to be called a district plan, but we now just need one big Auckland plan.
Yeah.
So that enables us to go and revisit a whole lot of what's been planned around the city, and so that there's a standardisation of a plan out there. And when we looked at the plan, we saw this opportunity to go and revisit the prospect of putting apartments over those playgrounds. You see, Auckland has gone down there and they've just fallen in love with their waterfront.
They are not.
They're flocking down there in the hundreds of thousands. How long has it been open for?
Only about 6 months or something?
No, not that.
Not
8
even
weeks.
that. Oh,
no,
really?
might be 9 weeks.
Wow.
Something like that. And I haven't heard a bad word about it. And what it is a generosity of space. And I feel, it's a waterfront plan where you can get your feet wet.
Yeah.
We can actually touch the water, where we're not kept away from it by containers or red fences and things like that. This is a city of sails. It's one of the most beautiful harbour edge cities in the world. And, we feel like we've been denied for so long. And now at long last, there are these generous public spaces down there. And then you look at the plan and you think, you get this sinking feeling.
Well, I don't get it, because we were told, when this thing opened, look, here you go, look what we made for you, this is nice, isn't it? Go and enjoy it now, you'll have this forever. But how is that not the case? What's happened?
Well, you just need to look at the plan. And the plan says...
But how do you build a playground and then decide, and it's an award-winning playground, and then decide, no, we're going to shift that?
Yeah, well, no, look, it has always been planned to be apartments.
Was this rushed through for the Rugby World Cup?
No, it wasn't rushed through. It's just they don't have a developer to put apartments on it. So, we see this as an opportunity as we revisit the plan. Look, guys, with the power of hindsight, we can now see how popular this is for Aucklanders.
Yeah.
Let's not take a step back. And let's not go and deliver the apartments here that are in that plan. Let's now, as we're writing the plan up, let's go and hear what Aucklanders have got to say.
Yeah.
And so, look, they're flocking to our website. The other day, I think we'd had about 2,300 people go there.
That's the
86% had said, look, keep this thing as it is. We're just loving it. So
that's the we only get one chance.co.nz website where you can fill out the survey there.
Yeah, well, listen, the plan's about 800 pages. Very few Aucklanders are going to go through it. So we've just sort of identified 4 key areas there. Wynyard Quarter being one of them. The ports, the prospect of much larger reclamations there. Obviously, we're asking about the rail tunnel, whether or not the Aucklanders think that's a good idea for unlocking public transport. And a compact city, do we want to continue to sprawl across the horizon, join Whangarei and Hamilton? So there are 4 questions in there, but interestingly enough, the one that's elicited the most interest and the most passion has been, down there when you could have, please don't take away our park.
Yeah, you're just giving it to us and we now appreciate it. Don't take it away.
There's a song, wasn't there? Something or other, put up a parking lot. How did that go? You could do that one.
Yeah, somewhere deep in the memory banks. Yeah. But there are some interesting ideas, though, behind what can also happen down there along with the park. They're talking about an innovation hub.
Yep.
A high-tech hub where companies can come in and innovate and create cool new products.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's 35 hectares of land there. That's a large piece of real estate.
Yeah.
And what we're saying is down there on the water's edge is where people want to meet, you know. So we should have large, generous public spaces there on the headland and on Jellicoe Street. But further back, there is ample opportunity to go and build and convert some of those heritage spaces too, large sale lofts. And of course put some new stuff in there too. And we're not against density. You know, we think you need to go and build density somewhere. And there's a case for going and putting some mixed-use commercial density. But this idea of a hub down there,
Yeah.
you know, we're infamous for this number 8 wire technology and sort of making stuff happen.
Yeah.
And now that sort of needs to enter into, in this new global economy, needs to enter into it needs to get a little bit more sophisticated. And there's some real value of clustering these sorts of industries together. So when you put geeks with geeks with geeks with
It works.
great guys, and we saw
Yeah.
that in San Francisco, didn't we?
Yeah.
You
And
know,
there's great. There's already some great spaces in Auckland, like the Ice House, and
Yep.
the generator down in the Britomart complex.
And-
But they're, you know, they exist, but we need more, right?
Yeah, we need more of them because it's that sort of thinking that's going to go and take us out of this recession.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to get it by producing a price-driven lot. We need to add value along the way.
Can that kind of activity coexist with public spaces and for places where Aucklanders can go and
It
enjoy?
abounds there. That's why the innovation hub and generous public spaces are so complementary. You know, a creative process prospers in. You don't see them happening in high-rise blocks with the greatest respect. You know, you see the creative process happening in a creative environment.
Should it be a place where people live, though?
Yeah,
Apartments.
there is a case for it.
But isn't there a problem where you try and have apartments and public spaces and workplaces, and they don't coexist because in those public spaces you want to have events that
Yep.
go on late at night. You want to have big screens. You want to have fan zones,
Yep.
all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then you have the people in the apartments complaining about the noise.
There is reverse sensitivity. So that's another reason for getting the density back towards Fanshawe Street. Those that know the area, it's 35 hectares. It's a long peninsula. Not long peninsula, but it's longer than it is wide. So what we're saying is the headland, that Jellicoe Street area where the playgrounds are at the moment, that should remain in public space. You move back to a lower density style innovation hub environment, and then back towards Fanshawe Street you build the density because you've got a large piece of transport infrastructure in Fanshawe Street there.
Yeah.
And that's where you can go and build mixed use. You can have retail on the ground floor, you can have some residential, and then of course you can even have corporate environments above that, you see. So and what you're doing in that is it means that you've got a daytime work population activating, and you've got an evening residential population activating.
Yeah.
You know, because we don't want these places to be deserts. So and people keep these things alive. So we've got the people visiting, the tourist industry visiting a large urban park with civic facilities and generous public spaces around it. Then you've got the innovation hub alive during the day. And then you've got this mixed-use residential back towards.
What's the plan with the tank farm that's still out there on the end?
Well, this is a 4-stage development. I think that's the 4th stage of it. Those tanks will be removed. The land will be decontaminated or capped. At the moment, it's scheduled for 4.5 hectares of public space. There is a gateway into that park of residential housing, which you'd have to question for just the reasons that you mentioned, the reverse sensitivity.
Because we have this great, the Domain and Albert Park, but thinking about the Domain and how expansive that is, we don't have little houses, situated throughout it, do we?
The gateway to to any large, generous space should not be a residential development. You need a sense of generosity, and you need to be able to see where you're walking through to. I mean, there's quite a popular plan being floated at the moment for a Te Papa North development. A building there that goes and takes some of the collections that aren't shown down there at Te Papa at the end of Wynyard Quarter. Now, just imagine having to walk through a suburban-style residential development to access that. It just doesn't feel right. No. In fact, it fails Urban Design 101.
Indeed. Okay, so people can have their say on this now.
Yeah.
The first round finishes on the 25th of October, so it's not far away.
Well,
5 days
actually,
away.
no. Council just announced yesterday, and to their credit, they've acknowledged the really tight time frame here.
Because people are distracted by this
Rugby
World Cup.
The Oval Ball, yeah. And so they've gone and moved it from this Tuesday through until the following Monday.
And so what do you do as an individual?
Well, you go to the council website and you can make a submission to it, or you could just go to ours. Ours is sort of the 2020 cricket version. Ours is 4 key questions. Go on those. You can read more about it. You can answer the questions flat out. You could do it in 30 seconds if you wanted, and that way you feel like you've had a contribution to it.
Yeah.
So we only get one chance.co.nz. There's the 2020 version. Answer 4 questions. As I say, there's plenty of links there, including a link that sends you through to the full council submission process if you want to.
Cool. All right. Well worth being part of the process, because as the website says, we only get one chance. And, man, if they build, I don't know, imagine like San Francisco and they build a motorway through there or something.
Yeah, in fact, San Francisco's doing the very reverse. It's taking the motorways out of it.
Because they realise that they got it wrong in the first place. But we may not get another chance. Alex Swney from Heart of the City, thanks very much for joining us and telling us all about it. Cheers.